Good morning. I know I have been MIA. Um, it's really strange because these last few energetic shifts that I've had, because it seems like everything that's happened to me over like the past month and a half had to, in order for me to be able to really surrender deeper and to really detach on my spiritual journey. To really detach from physical circumstances and to really stop focusing on them because nothing in the physical world matters anyway. And once you get to the point where you realize nothing in the physical world matters, you stop trying to figure out what's going on in the physical world. You release it, so I've really fallen into the place of deep faith that I don't need to know everything. I don't need to understand everything. I don't need to be able to figure shit out. And so, as I have gotten to that point where I have stopped looking for answers, I've stopped trying to look into the future. I've stopped trying to figure out why things are happening the way that they're happening, and I just accept that they are the way that they are. I have been incorporating a Zen practice into my life. Sorry, my dogs. Y'all know my dogs are making a lot of noise and they need fed. I'm going to feed them as soon as I get done making this video. And with the Zen practice that I've been practicing, I'm very present. And that I used to think it was just time, but time doesn't exist. There's only energy. So, in order to be present, I'm really aware and really conscious of my current energy and where I'm at right now. And whatever is going on in my life, I just accept it as it is. Just total acceptance. That's another part of Zen, is just accepting what is going on and stop trying to judge it. And the other thing is I'm being very mindful of my thoughts right now. Anytime my fears try to come in the back door and tell me, as I was kind of balancing out my fear-based energy, I would feel really good for a few days. And I was like, yes, this is it. And then I would get triggered by something. I'd be right back. Felt like I was right back in that energy again. And it was always because I was trying to figure something out. I wanted to know something. And my spiritual guidance was that my biggest block on this journey was my need to know everything. And not only my need to know everything, but this deep fear of loss that I kept having over and over again. And that fear of loss came from, for one thing, needing to know shit, seeing something that upset me, seeing something that kind of derailed me from my progress, a thought that I would have, that I would follow. And so, with that being said, I had to kind of pull back my energy. And I have to be very mindful of when my fears would come in the back door, because my fear would be, how my fears would come in the back door was I would feel good for 2 or 3 days. I'm like, yes, I feel amazing. I feel balanced. This is it. This is Zen. Then I'd get triggered by something and I'd be back in that energy again. And so then I got scared of it. And so then my fears would come in the back door saying, um, you're about to be triggered again. And I was scared of it. Oh no, I'm going to have the obsessive thoughts. I'm going to be all upset again. And I'm going to be, in these lower energies. And it would always happen when I'd have that fear, because we attract our fears. So I've had to be very mindful of that. Whenever things come up now, I tell myself, no, everything is happening the way it's supposed to. Stop focusing on the future. Stop trying to figure shit out. Stop trying to focus on the physical circumstances whatsoever, because the physical circumstances, believe it or not, do not matter. They don't. And I have said so many times in my videos that we create our reality by what we believe to be true. And when we go out trying to figure shit out and trying to see things, we attribute meaning to it, and that becomes our current reality. It's good to stay in the void of the unknown. That way, there are limitless possibilities that the mind can't even comprehend. Because the mind is so limiting, and the mind might limit you to just this one thing when it can be so much more. So, with that being said, I haven't been able to read my cards. For one thing, they really were feeding my own fear based energy. I sat here 2 weeks ago, tried to do the Scorpio, tried to do the Sagittarius readings. And I'm a Scorpio, my divine partner, my other self. That's what I call him now. My other self is a Sagittarius. And I found that it was feeding my fear based energy. And I tried and I tried and I tried. And I discovered that as human beings, our need to know everything. We even carry it over into the metaphysical realm, which is the 5D. The 5D, the dimensions are nothing more than the mind consciousness. So it comes from the mind, it doesn't come from the soul. So as I've aligned more to my soul, the different dimensions of consciousness don't resonate with me because the soul doesn't even know these things. That's from the mind. So I've really had to get outside of my mind and really disconnect from anything that's metaphysical right now. I have been doing a lot of spiritual teaching as far as my posts. I have a spiritual group that I'm in that, I try to share things. I did make a live video on my Facebook page where I talked about the practice of Zen and how it's changed my life. And so I feel like these videos here are what I'm going to lean more towards. I did like the, video series I did on, on sex, sexual energy. I really did enjoy doing those. But as far as the cards go, I feel like it feeds people's fear-based energy, and it really keeps them stuck. Because it is metaphysical, it's not true spirituality. There's a difference. So I feel like people who are on the true spiritual path and of awakening, and who are not just trying to figure out like what their partner's doing or what they're not doing, will resonate more with these type of videos. And I don't want to be the one to feed somebody's fear-based energy and keep them stuck. And that's what happens, because even with my cards, like I'll pull cards for myself, right? Because when I stopped looking for answers like in the physical world, I went to the metaphysical world, and I would pull cards. What's going on? What's going on? Because I can't go look for answers anymore, but tell me, cards. Well, depending on what mode I was in, okay, like if I'm sitting here and I'm like really feeling pretty shitty, like, things are bad, then the cards would represent that. Whereas if I would sit here and I played around with it, if I'd sit here and I'd be like hopeful, and I would know that shit wasn't good on the other end, and I'd pull cards and they would confirm that, because it depended on my mode that I was in. So when I discovered this, I said, you know what? I'm not going to be in that mode anymore of that up and down, up and down. My mood's up and down and feeling good for 3 days and then feeling shitty, feeling good for a couple days and feeling shitty for 3 days and back and forth. What I'm going to do is try to balance and stop focusing on physical circumstances whatsoever and just align more to my soul energy, which is what I've done. And as I've done that, the cards don't resonate with me anymore. And it was a really hard place for me to get to, and I didn't know what I was going to do because, I started off doing this and I love doing it. But I do have messages that I channel without the cards that I would still like to share on my channel in my videos to help people who are, feeling stuck, who are waking up from soul amnesia, and discovering that they have this identity crisis, that they don't know who they are, as a result of going through the dark night of the soul and waking up and realizing that your ego, your memories, your thoughts, your feelings, your childhood, the past. None of that is who you are whatsoever. That was the mistaken identity. Who you really are is you are a soul first and foremost. And once you start waking up to that and aligning to that, you have to know that your soul is pure love. And your soul doesn't worry about these things that you're worrying about, like what other people are doing, saying, thinking, feeling, because it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you, in aligning to who you truly are. And so I did want to make, this announcement today, and I do plan on making more videos because I do like making videos, and, I feel like, if this video resonates with you, you'll continue to watch. But as I'm moving out of my fear-based energy and balancing that out, I can't look at the cards anymore because it feeds my obsessive thoughts and it feeds my obsession, which I have been working on starving out and moving out of that. And I hope you guys understand. So I'm going to go feed my dogs.